Can you hear us, Judge?
Yes, sir. All right. I was just getting on YouTube there. So the court now will call 112552, State of Texas versus Dylan Lewis Delane Courtier. Mr. Courtier is with his attorney, Mr. Nolan LeBlanc. The state is also present. We are conducting the hearing remotely using Zoom video conferencing, and we are streaming live on the court's YouTube channel. There's to be no recording of this proceeding. Mr. Courtier, if you'll just raise your right hand, I'll swear you in, sir. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. If Mr. Courtier can move up, I couldn't hear him.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay, much better. All right. Now, at this time, Mr. LeBlanc, does Mr. Courtier waive the arraignment and the reading of the information?
He does, Your Honor.
Mr. Courtier, you have a right to a jury trial in this case, and at this time, do you wish to give up that right to a jury trial?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. I need you to speak up just a little bit. I can barely
Yes,
hear
sir.
you. All right. Now, to this misdemeanor charge of possession of marijuana, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, sir.
And are you making that plea of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
I have now States Exhibits 1 and 2. Does the state offer those?
Yes, sir, we do, Your Honor.
No objections, Your Honor.
Thank you. The court will admit States Exhibits 1 and 2. Mr. Courtier, these exhibits are the paperwork. It's the paperwork that you went over with Mr. LeBlanc. In that paperwork, did you understand the range of punishment that you faced?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand all of the rights that you were giving up?
Yes, sir.
And then finally, did you understand everything in the paperwork after you had plenty of time to go over it with Mr. LeBlanc?
Yes, sir.
Based then, Mr. Courtier, upon your plea and the evidence, the court will find that the evidence is sufficient to find you guilty of possession of marijuana, but the court will not make a finding of guilt at this time. Instead, the court will place you on deferred adjudication probation for a term of 9 months. Now, along with that will be a fine of $200, court cost in the amount of $320. There are probation fees, and then there are court-appointed attorney fees of $300, in addition to community service and other conditions of probation. Before I get to that, Mr. Courtier, this is a plea bargain case that I did go along with, so that means you have no right to appeal. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, the way this all works is that you're on probation, as I said, for 9 months. You complete that probation successfully, and at the end of 9 months, not only will you be done with probation, but you'll walk away with no conviction for this charge on your record. You understand that's a big upside of deferred. You have a chance to wipe the slate clean.
Yes, sir.
The downside, though, is that you have, well, if the state were to prove that you violated any condition of probation, may have nothing to do with marijuana or CBD or anything like that, but any violation could mean your probation could be revoked. You could be found guilty of this charge. And the worst part of all is that you could face up to 180 days, about 6 months in the county jail. So you understand the good and the bad there, Mr. Courtier.
Yes, sir.
One other plus that you have if you make the probation is that after a certain amount of time goes by, you can get what we call a non-disclosure. You'd need an attorney to file for that. But if you were to get a non-disclosure after making the probation successfully, that would keep the fact that you were ever even on probation off a public record. In other words, off the internet. It wouldn't hurt you down the line, say if you were trying to get a job somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you can think of, Mr. LeBlanc?
No, Your Honor.
You've been over those conditions of probation with Mr. LeBlanc, Mr. Courtier?
Yes, sir.
Any
The only-
questions?
The only question that I had, Judge, is I think we heard from Juanita that there may be a signature line that was skipped, but we've looked at all the paperwork and I think we signed everywhere. Could we just?
No, that was, I misunderstood, thought Mr. Courtier was in the courtroom and we were going to get him to swear.
Okay.
But
I'll send him over there, Judge.
no, that's okay. He's already raised his hand and all of his testimony is sworn. He was sworn
Okay.
in. It was
But
all
the-
under oath, so I consider that to be the same thing.
With the fingerprints, Judge?
We've got enough identifiers. We don't need those.
Good. good.
Plus, like I
Thank-
say, after they scan the papers, you can't make out the print anyway.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
So, all right. So any questions about any of these conditions of probation, Mr. Cordier?
No, sir.
All right, as soon as you're done with Mr. LeBlanc, you'll need to go just a block down the street to the probation department. They'll go over these conditions with you again. They'll set up your reporting schedule, and then you'll get a copy of this probation order. So head over there just as soon as you wrap things up with Mr. LeBlanc.
Yes, sir.
Good
And
luck to
Judge,
you, sir.
And Judge, I'm giving him a copy of his trial certification right now.
All right, thank you very much.
That's it, buddy. Judge, I think if we could cut Mr. Dodson a little slack on the weather issue, he's a very dependable, reliable client of mine. And I don't know why he's not here yet, but I really think that he's trying to get here somehow. So we'll start making some calls, but he was scheduled